We've got burning questions, rumors, and what to expect from this Michigan football team as they are playing a football game tonight. And I could not be more excited to see what Sherrone Moore's second year looks like. And for the second year, second year, if you look back at the history of college football the last 20, 30 years, it is the second year that really, in a lot of cases, can tell you what a coach's career is going to look like. He's on the path to greatness, on the path to a national title, or sometimes on the path to being out the door and being replaced by year three. So we'll see and show you some examples of that. But we're going to start the show off here in a moment with what is Ohio State's deal. They are making themselves look like idiots. And frankly, they're going to kick off here soon with Texas. And it seems to be the only thing on their mind is being soft little bees when it comes to the University of Michigan team that has not lost to them this entire decade. So we'll talk about that and much, much more. It is the Michigan Football Report. Let's get going right now. We made it. It is game day. It's Christmas. It is New Year's. It is your birthday. It's Easter basket Monday. Whatever holiday you want to celebrate. It is Hanukkah. It is college football game day for your Michigan Wolverines. And there's some Ohio State fans here. There might be some New Mexico fans here, but this is a Michigan football show. We have made it. Michigan football, the program of the decade so far. But they're not the defending national champions. The Ohio State Buckeyes are. But they really can't celebrate that, right? The entire offseason for them has been the hammer this, the hammer that, the hammer. That blew up in their face. But now they're just getting ridiculous, okay? Now they're just getting absurd because the Brown Jug, if you've ever been to a Michigan game, if you've ever been to Ann Arbor, you know the Brown Jug, right? Very popular restaurants, always popping on game days before the game, great breakfast, et cetera, and they do things that we do, right? They take liberties, and they apparently applied to patent or trademark Buckeye Tears when put into a alcoholic beverage. Both, this beer has Buckeye Tears in it. This vodka drink has Buckeye Tears. And you know what? Ohio State just couldn't let it be, right? It's a small restaurant, probably does a few $1 million a year in revenue. It's not like it's a national chain. And what do they have to do? They have to look soft. Once again, they filed a notice of opposition with the United States Patent Office to say, hey, you better stop this. You can't give them this trademark because our fans will be confused. They'll think that this is authorized by us, that we're somehow a part of selling Buckeye Tears. Like, what are you talking about, right? Have you ever been on the internet? Have you ever heard of a joke? Ohio State is getting absolutely preposterously soft, and we are bringing back the term, despite them being the national champions, despite them being this 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 matchup coming up here at high noon on Big Noon Kickoff, Ohio Soft University is back. They got this little thing, right? They got the Dave Portnoy. He's such a bad guy. We can't even have him in our stadium, right? Keep bad Dave in our stadium. And then, a few months back, it was the Ohio congressman trying to create a law in Ohio that it's a crime if you're going to plant a flag in the middle of someone else's stadium. Just absolutely absurd wusses. They spent the entire offseason obsessed with Michigan. Literally the last 2 years, they have yet to enjoy their own national title because they're obsessed with Dave Portnoy. Some of them are obsessed with me. Some of them are obsessed with Buckeye Tears being sold. It's frankly pathetic. I'm not the only one thinking about that. Actually, one of the greatest national champions of all time, coaches, also think they kind of got something loose up here. So before we continue on, let's let them know, because the Ohio State fans were hitting our comments up on Friday. They were talking a lot of trash on yesterday's video, so they're still here. Make sure you make their visit here to the Michigan Football Report unpleasant. Let them know. Go down. Bosa beats Ohio State again. We do that. We keep commenting it. It's been the mantra of this show for 5 years now. More Bosa. We're going to get more Buckeye Tears this season in November. Forever. Never lose to Ohio State again as long as Bosa continues. And Ohio State is caught the eye of one Nick Saban. He was on the Pat McAfee show. And he said a number of things about the national title. He's kind of saying like, Michigan's, got their number. Ohio State just can't get over the hump with them. But then he ended with this. These Ohio State fans, I love how you can always know it's the Saban talking when it's like, he's got that little rhyme with him. They've got a psychotic obsession with Michigan, and they need to get therapy or something to try to get fixed. Now, I can tell you a few of those. Nevada Cuck, the guy who was trying to screw me out of our $2,500 bet, right? He needs to go to therapy. The guy is absolutely unhinged, and I don't know, frankly, I think he's a threat to society. Kirk Barton, who was a friend of mine at some point, but obviously is facing a lot of legal things. He was a little psychotic with Michigan. And frankly, you look at any of their shows, any of their podcasts, they're playing Texas today. And if you look at all their shows and podcasts on YouTube, on this, every single episode, half the episodes are something to do with Michigan. It's so surprising that they can't just enjoy that they actually were able to just back into a playoff and get hot at the right time, have the easiest run of a weak Tennessee team, an overrated Oregon team, a Texas team with a bum blonde-haired kid, and then Notre Dame, who can't win a game in a big game since before Jack and I were born. Easiest run in history to win a national title, but all they can think about is Michigan. Nick Saban laid the hammer down on them. Hammer coming for you, Ohio State fans, because Nick Saban just basically said you are psychotic and need to get help because Michigan is all that controls your brain and your thoughts. All right, we got 4 college football channels here at Chat Sports on YouTube. Recently launched Tennessee channel. They are smoking hot. You guys may saw our Savion Hyder video a couple weeks ago. They were live as well. We obviously had much bigger audience, but I got this report this morning. Apparently, they've been pushing it all week. Hey, we got to beat Michigan, beat Ohio State. So those are our 4 channels. We are 3rd in new subscribers since Monday. So if you can, I guess the contest ends on Sunday. We're going to see at our staff meeting coming up Tuesday morning who wins this battle. I guess if you come in first place, the other guys got to do push-ups or something like that. So subscribe to the channel as we are 28 subscribers away from these guys and having the number 1 channel in week 1 subs. More subscribers, more points for Michigan. That I can guarantee you. Click subscribe below today's video. Let's get into some things to watch for, right? Freshman to watch. Outside of Bryce Underwood, there is a freshman that I think is going to see more playing time, get featured more in the offense and on special teams than most people would have anticipated, and that is Andrew Marsh, big-time freshman. Speedster was probably a surprise to a lot of people when he committed to Michigan. I am very excited to see what he has. I know he's not going to be in the starting lineup, right? He's not going to be out there catching passes probably in the first, second quarter. But as the game goes on, keep an eye out for Andrew Marsh. He's going to be probably the primary kick returner or one of 2 people. And Michigan coaches and people who have seen practice think, hey, this guy has what it takes to be a major impact player. Maybe in the future, but it could be this year as well. Has really impressed in camp and has had a great game week of practice. Has got reps of the ones. Keep an eye out there for Andrew Marsh. We told you about these deals yesterday. They're still going on, but do not wait because it is with you got a little promo code to get these prices down. A Jordan Brand Hail Michigan football shirt was $35, now $18. Chatsports.com/Hail shirt. Link for this and this next one will be right in the description. Second paragraph, both links. You click on them, you drop on the page, you buy them, get this huge discount. I love this one. I bought this one myself. It is a Jordan Brand shirt. It's one of these like form-fitting ones, workout style shirts. Chatsports.com/Michigan sideline for the sideline shirt. That one was $65. Now it's under $30. Right? More than 50% off. It's insane. $29 for that one. Chatsports.com/Michigan sideline. Both will be down. Second paragraph of the description and in the comments. Type the link in if you want. Click on it. Go buy it. Don't wait because I hate to see you guys pay full price for your 2025 Michigan football gear. Next thing I'm looking for today in this Michigan football 2025 season opener is, will Michigan let Bryce Underwood cook? Are they going to have an aggressive game plan where he gets chances like J.J. McCarthy? If you think back to the 2022 season, the second game against Hawaii, right? It was, Cade's going to play the first game, J.J.'s second game, and it was so obvious. It was clear as day. Jim Harbaugh didn't have to wait till Sunday, didn't have to wait to watch the film. He said, in the press conference, the postgame, JJ's a starting quarterback going forward, right? Caught Cade McNamara off guard. I think McNamara kind of checked out after that. What will Michigan look like with this new Chip Lindsey offense with, 2 not necessarily totally proven, but expected to be strong running backs, a potentially shaky offensive line, and frankly, a completely unknown wide receiver group, right? Some tight ends will get some action. I think we'll see probably more tight end throws this year than we did towards the end of last year when Colson Loveland was out. But I'm really excited to see. Is he going to be called a handoff merchant like the haters and losers called J.J. McCarthy? Or are we going to see 26, 28, 30 throws, even when Michigan potentially is up 2 or 3 scores, to get him ready under 112,000 people this weekend to be prepared to go on the road under the lights next week at Oklahoma. Thought about this today. is Bryce Underwood the most anticipated college football player ever? Right? I mean, it's not crazy to think about because most true freshmen don't start their first game. Most true freshmen don't get talked about all offseason, even the senior year of high school, by tons of other fan bases. The entire SEC was talking about him because he was at LSU. Then he flipped over to Michigan. Ohio State fans, Penn State fans, Oregon fans, Notre Dame fans, they just want to take shots at Michigan. Oh, you got a guy from Michigan. He only came because of money, because of money, because of money. And he's been so hyped. He's been so decorated, right? 3 state titles, 4 times he was, 4 years as a starting quarterback. Came in, took all the reps as a true freshman in spring practice when he was 17 and a half years old, right? He just turned 18 last week. I really can't think of an 18-year-old for their debut game, for whatever team they're playing for, at 18 years old. I am struggling to think of one that more people were anticipated, more eyes will be on, and has had this much build-up. I got to go back to 2003, LeBron James. Jack, you were a young whippersnapper at the time, but everyone was, knew LeBron in high school. He came to the Cavs, number 1 pick, of course, and I still remember who he played. He played the Utah Jazz. I didn't have to look that up. It was like on a Wednesday or Thursday night. I went to like a bar watching it, and LeBron had something like 27, 8, and 6, had this ridiculous like cockback dunk. That was there. This isn't getting as much national attention, but trust me, other than the Ohio State game in Texas, and maybe whatever happens in some of these other games, like Florida State and Alabama, Clemson, LSU, etc. There's some good games this weekend, but I think the most talked about player is either going to be the winning quarterback of Ohio State, Texas, and Bryce Underwood. That is going to be the 2 most talked about players in college football, good or bad for Underwood, going into this next week. And frankly, I think probably the biggest game of the upcoming week, week 2 in college football, Michigan at Oklahoma. So let me ask you guys this question. Most anticipated player in college football history, maybe, we'll see, for the first game. How many touchdowns will Bryce Underwood have in 2025? Go down in the comments. Let me know. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Remember, the record for Michigan is 25, and it's lasted for years. Chad Henne tied it as a true freshman, remember? And, Elvis Grback's got it back in 1991 or 92. So it has not been a record that has fallen, and it's frankly kind of weak. I think like 45 players in college football last year had more than Michigan's all-time season record. Who is Sherrone Moore? I think it's something we're going to find out this season, and maybe we'll start finding it out tonight in this game. But these are his team. This is his team now. These are his recruits. There are very few, key impact players. We'll see about Rod Moore and some others. Giovanni El Hadi had a drink of water, during the Harbaugh years and got some snaps. But for the most part, I mean, Samaj Morgan was like the 4th or 5th wide receiver doing a lot of reverses, etc. But there's not a lot of players that are on this team, even in the 2 deep, that were here for the Harbaugh years. It's certainly not guys who were starters for the Harbaugh years. So this is his team. He was an offensive coordinator. He was filling in as interim coach in 2023 season. He was offensive line coach during when all this team was recruited. And you've got to put the results of this year, right? He went into last year knowing the quarterback situation was and how bad it was. Those were his guys. He was the offensive coordinator and still went in with them, right, this year. He chose to get Bryce Underwood and got him, of course. But what does the backup look like? What does Jaden Davis look like? What does Jake Garcia look like? Will we ever see Mikey Keene? Will we ever see Davis Warren again? A lot of questions about this coach and with this team, but it's his team. This is no longer, we got to do this, do that. It is year 2. A lot of college coaches have tough first years and blow up in their second year. Let's just kind of go back to the beginning of the century. Bob Stoops, 1999, 7-5. Next year, boom, national championship, 13-0. Jim Tressel, 7-5 season in year 1. He beat Michigan that year, which was a terrible year, terrible game, 2001 game. 2002, 14-0 national champs in year 2. Pete Carroll, right? Had been an NFL coach, but never been a college head coach. Year 1 in 2001, 6-6. Year 2 in 2002, 11-2. Go to the Orange Bowl, beat Iowa, and then 03 national champs, kind of split national title. 04 national champs. 05 could have been national champs, lost one of the greatest games in sports history to Texas. How about Urban Meyer? 9-3, pretty good year. Next year, national championship. 05, 9-3, 13-1, beat Ohio State. Michigan should be in that national title game against Ohio State. We all know that. He kind of backed in there. But that's a huge year. And if you even think about Urban Ohio State, he did that his second year there, although he did go undefeated his first year, but also had a great year in his second year too. So it can happen. Nick Saban, 2007, goes 7-6, loses to Louisiana Monroe, right? That's worse than any loss Sherrone Moore had this past year in his first year as coach. Year 2, 12-2, starts 12-0. loses to Florida in the SEC title game, and then loses the bowl game to, I think it was like Cincinnati, actually, and Brian Kelly maybe as their head coach, if I recall. But this is honestly going off memory. I'm a great college football historian, Jack. You like those facts? Kirby Smart. Okay, 2016, 8-5, 2017, 13-2, and he was literally a Tua generational pass, true freshman Tua, generational pass down to true freshman Devontae Smith down the sidelines in overtime away from winning a national championship in his second year and going 14-1 instead of having a runner-up and losing that game and going 13-2 to not win it there, but 4 years later in 2021 and 2022, he got his national title, went back-to-back. So this is the precedent. If you look at college football head coaches, you look at the ones that don't work out, year two is kind of telling the story. Do they make that big jump up if they had a struggle first year, or is it more of the same? Is it another 8-4 record? Is it something like that? I don't know what you guys think about this 2025 Michigan football season. We can't predict the Big Ten championship game. We can't think about the playoff yet. The game's in the schedule. Give me a record prediction down in the comments. I think I said 10-2. I'm going to stick at that. 10-2 is my record. Let me know what you guys think. Last thing, I'm not going to do my preseason Wi-Fi rant this year. I'm going to give Michigan the benefit of the doubt, which they do not deserve, and I'm going to have a field day on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, Jack, if it turns out like I think that it will. We saw this guy, Brock Helig, writes for one of the blog boy sites, etc. And I think he got here, right? Because I saw a lot of people, I'm off Twitter, someone texted this to me, and it's like a welcome addition to the big house. Michigan Stadium has added gate Wi-Fi for the fans to use the stadium entrances. This program has heard call the fans' cries for a better signal on game days. Yeah, for me, for like 5 straight years on this show, these rants have gone viral. They've done hundreds of thousands of views. But what are we missing there? What's the key point there? What's those 2 words that you see right there? Not even 2 words, 1 word, gate. Gate Wi-Fi. Do you know what that means? It is not real Wi-Fi, okay? It is not real signal that you could actually, if you're trying to meet up with a friend. I mean, just think about last year, the Texas game. I had friends from Texas in the stands. I had family members across stadium trying to just, hey, we're in the stadium an hour early. Hey, it's halftime. Let's just meet up and say hello for 5 minutes because I haven't seen you in a couple of years or whatever it is. Not possible unless you have a game plan going in. If you want to know what's going on, there's so many, if you're sitting at a game, so many times when there's 5, 10, 6 minutes of commercial breaks. You're just sitting there in the stands, sitting there in the stadium. So I know people say, who cares about cell signal of the game? You should be paying attention to the game. That's great. Also, people have children, right? What happens if something happens to your family? What happens if somebody needs to get a hold of you? We have these phones for a reason, and it's frankly unacceptable with as many sporting events I go to. I was the national title game. Plenty of damn cell signal there and plenty of Wi-Fi, right? An 80,000-person stadium. Jack was able to, it was so strong, we were able to stream 1080p video to the internet after the game. You can't even send a damn text message if you're at Michigan, and this is not Wi-Fi. Brock Helig got by this announcement from Michigan. What this is trying to prevent what happened in 2022 and 2023, and I'm sure 2024, I just never really heard about it, is Michigan went ticketless. They went ticketless, right? Paper ticketless, right? And it's all digital tickets. So you can't print a ticket. You don't get even the tickets there if you're a season ticket holder. You can only have them on your phone through the Michigan ticketing app, through StubHub, whoever their partner is. Not StubHub. What's the other one? No, I can't remember who they're with. Who's the one the Cowboys use? Whatever. One of the ticketing boys, right? And what happens is people show up to the game like, get your tickets out. Oh, cool. Let me go in there and click that email. And I don't have any signal. I can't download my tickets. So what we were told is that in 2022, it happened multiple times where there were hundreds and sometimes even thousands of people that were so irate, I can't get a fucking signal on my phone, that Michigan just actually had to take their word for it and let them in. How many tickets do you have, sir? 2. What's your seats? Section 7, row 35, seats 6 and 7. Okay, just go in. And they let hundreds of people, if not thousands, in to several games over the last few years because people will go, not have their tickets on their phone, and then they would, not want to walk upwards of a mile the other direction to get signal, to download the tickets, and come back. So this is not signal for the fans to enjoy it, right? To have any sort of, existence in 2025 with your iPhone during breaks or before, after, during game. Want to post a photo on your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook account with your family at the game. None of that. This is just so you can get Wi-Fi. So in case you forgot to download your damn tickets on your phone, you can press it there. The second you get in the stadium, you're going back into Afghanistan in 1931, where there's no signal at all. And I think it's just going to have it. So if that's what the case, which I'm almost positive it is, I'm going to do my annual Wi-Fi rant coming up on Tuesday or Wednesday next week. All right, make sure you guys subscribe if you enjoyed today's show. Unsubscribe Tuesday if you want, but I can't go into I can't have a big winning weekend for Michigan, hopefully a losing weekend for Ohio State, and get beat in new subscribers by these other channels. I've got to puff my chest high. Jack's got to puff his. So please subscribe. Unsubscribe Tuesday if you don't like what you see. Thank you so much. Enjoy the game tonight. Go Blue.